In this lesson, we'll have our final speaking task sample answer, that is, speaking task 6. As usual, we are using Quick Prep, which is linked below this video on the page. Specifically, Quick Prep Volume 3, and we're on page 19. There is a picture on page 19 and a question, but what you really need is the MP3 lecture, that is track 10, also linked below. Go to the ETS site, listen to that lecture, and then come back to this video after you have finished. Alright, let's take a look at our note structure. It's pretty standard. You'll get the main idea. You'll have an example or detail of that idea, that topic. You'll have some specifics for that detail, and then another detail with more specifics. This is the same as speaking task 4. The only difference is the first part of your notes is from the reading in task 4, but it's from the lecture in task 6 because there is no reading. Again, we're using Quick Prep 3. Now, what does the professor say in that lecture? First, she asks us a question. How do we choose between products? And then she answers that question. She says we choose by quality. High quality gives us reason to choose something. But what is quality? Well, she gives us something very helpful. She says there are two important parts of quality. The first is reliability. The second is features. Anytime you hear something like this in a lecture, you should definitely make notes. It's the structure of the lecture, and it will help you structure your notes. Now, what is reliability? She gives us a very simple definition. Does it work? And you know what? Your notes should be even better. No does, just work. And no repairs. If there's no repairs and it works as we expect, then it is reliable. Then she gives a concrete example of this. Cars, she says, are actually very reliable now. And then she moves on to talk about features. And this continues, and she talks about car features. She says cars have many features. So, features are more important. They are the deciding part of quality that we use to make our choices when we buy products. All right. Now, I'm going to give a sample answer based on those notes that summarizes this lecture. Remember that in your real test, you'll have 20 seconds after the lecture to read your notes and think about your answer. You only have to summarize. In this case, the question specifically tells you that you need to explain how the major factors of product quality change decisions and how that has changed over time. So, using that, I'll have 60 seconds to answer the question. I won't take 20 seconds to prepare because I already know my answer. 60 seconds starting now. The professor explains how we make choices when we are buying products. She says that quality is the main deciding factor, but quality has two different parts to it, reliability and features. Reliability used to be more important, but nowadays everything is more reliable, so it's not as important. She says cars are all quite reliable. They don't need repairs often. So we don't need to think about that when we choose cars. Instead, nowadays, we think about features, and that's why cars have so many features. It's the more important factor when we make our decision. So reliability was more important, but nowadays features are more important. Okay. Now, did you notice what I did at the end of that? I was finished. I talked through all of this, and then I had about 10 more seconds, a little bit more. So I summarized. I went back and once again spoke about reliability and how that changed and how features are more important. Don't just repeat the same sentence, but you can repeat the same ideas if you're stuck and you have time left. Now it's your turn.